idea. I'm not going to go back. I can't go back and share. Uh, Look, in short, I was just sharing this coach that I met shared and exhibited what we talk about all the time is that there are fundamentals and best practices around process. And what he did with me in that capacity is something that we should be continually striving to do personally and professionally with our clients, with other agents, when we're meeting with a buyer, when we're meeting with a seller. So often we think we got to go in there and just instantly give them the result, as opposed to really diagnosing what the situation or the scenario is. When you get a lead that comes in, do you just jump up and go and start showing, or do you take a second and go, all right, tell me a little about your process. How long have you been doing this? How have you started? Where are you on the financing side? Are you cash? Are you financing? Have you started a conversation with a lender? Is this your first home or is this your fifth rodeo? Right? What did you love most about it? What are you scared about? What are you most concerned about? What are your thoughts around interest rates? What do you know about the market and the inventory? Has anyone talked to you about competition and ways to win? Like what he did with me was similar to that. But here's the other thing. The prescription that he gave was so counter to what I thought it was going to be because of our time horizon. So I had a 30-week time horizon with him. The contest that I'm going into is November 15th. And so he goes, we have 30 weeks, but we have to start today. And so in my mind, I thought we were going to go aggressive. He goes, no, 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 no. We have to establish baseline. We have to recreate and reset metabolism. And he goes, for the next 10 days, I just want data. You may go up, you may go down. I don't care. I need you to lock in and I need to see what happens when you do what I say. And he says, so don't have any expectations on result. I want data. And then once I have data, we can then take the next step. And how often have you gone to a class, a seminar, you see something and they tell you what you should be doing and you start doing it and you're like, this isn't working. But what you're not seeing is that your inputs may not create the output yet. And yet your input, if you're doing the inputs consistently or correctly over a long enough period of time, give us data. And that data is then what we can bring back and adjust, right? When we talk about in our world, creating, if just in general, when we talk about closings, which is the end of the pipeline, right? And then before that is under contracts. And then before that is appointments. And before that is conversations. And before that is leads and top of the funnel, right? There are 6 touch points that there are conversion percentages in between. And the thing is that in order to get to the end, there's almost an infinite amount of permutations that you can have along the way. And which is why we can have high introverts, high seed behavioral types, gregarious outgoings, high driver types, like all behavioral types can win in this as long as you understand the math in between. Anyways, what am I saying is that I'm just really grateful to be surrounded by and making sure that my board of directors or the people that I allow in my world, my circle, are level 10s. I talked about this in South Dakota when I was over there with Alan and talking about, do you have level 10 examples in your life for your business life, for your relationships, for your mental and physical health, for your spirituality, for your finances, all those things, right? Like our goal should be to start assembling our board of directors, whether those people are directly next to us or people that we look up to as influencers. And so I'm just, again, a long-winded gratitude of being able to just experience the example of what a 10 looks like. Because what happened was I was really floored by a 6 up to this point, and I had never experienced a 10. I never had gone into that world, and it was a very different conversation. So, yeah, there you go. So there's that. I hope that was worth pressing the button.
It was. It was.
Awesome. Well, enough about that. So, Freestyle Friday, this is where you get to drive the conversation. Unless, did anybody, Audrey, did you get to go? I don't want to cut anybody off. I try to go last. So sometimes I miss. All right. So, what's something that you guys, I know Brooke said you had something you wanted to bring to the conversation. Is there any challenges, obstacles, sticking points, or objections that you came across, or questions around processes that you want to throw into the group so we can all help one another get better?
I wanted to give somebody else a chance this week if they had something. So I'll tell you what it is, but you're probably just going to tell me this to just stop that.
I might.
No, I've got clients and I love them to death, but they spend like an hour to an hour and a half looking at every single house that we look at. And I've tried doing different things to like set the expectation. I know I've set the expectation. They just don't care. I've even booked stuff right behind it to make it like impossible to do this. And it's just not working. I don't know what to do.
What are they doing at that time?
They bring their 3 children with them. And I mean, they literally go through the whole house. They really try to figure out if the house will work for them. They talk about how they're going to arrange furniture in every room. They mull over like everything. I don't. It's like they feed their kids. I mean, literally, she'll be like nursing the baby for like 20 minutes. They change their kids' clothes into pajamas if it's like the last house we're at in the evening. I mean, I'm not kidding. I've tried, I've tried so hard. I'm laughing because it's horrible.
What do you guys, what do you guys have? What do you think?
So I think, Brooke, you can maybe start by resetting expectations in terms of timing and how long you set up the showings and be very clear up front. Like, especially if it's a busy property, like we've got 30 minutes to get in and out, or the seller only had this time frame available. Like, try to put it off on that. And just maybe setting
Yeah.
that expectation like normal is about 30 minutes through here. If it's one that you love, we can come back and spend more time in here. Maybe these are all conversations you've had with them already, but
Oh, they are, but I wonder if I just need to circle back. I've literally thought about calling the husband. He's a luxury car salesperson and he understands sales and he's amazing. And I thought about just having like a one-on-one call with him and just be like, "Hey, like, I have tried to like say stuff. I mean, even last night I was with them till 9:20 at a house and I told them that before that I couldn't, and I was trying to get them out the door like at about 20 till 9 and we were still there 40 minutes later. I'm like, what the hell?
have you written
Sorry.
any
I don't know.
offers on any of these properties you've shown them?
One,
Okay.
one, and
So
their
they're
budget's
staying,
not very great.
so they're spending all this time in properties that they're probably not even going to write an offer on anyway. So I think instead of it like going to them from a like I've tried, I've whatever, like go to it from a place of curiosity and just say, one thing that I've noticed is we spend an unusually long amount of time in these properties. And I
Mhm.
I I understand that you're trying to, maybe get all the information that you want, but maybe just ask them like, what do you think are important things to look for as we go through properties? What would
Mhm.
make you feel like you would want to move forward if you like, what would give you that spark and that energy to just feel like it's the one if we walked in the door? Um,
I think that's a good way to put
like
it.
asking them those questions to try to figure those things out and then helping them come to the conclusion of like maybe we don't need to be wasting and spending all this time in the house.
Mhm.
I mean, in reality, I don't know how you word this in the right way. Maybe my partners have a better way to say this, but like it's kind of being disrespectful to the sellers to spend that much time in a house, especially if some of the homes are occupied.
I want to
I get
piggyback
them out
off
of
of
the
that.
occupied houses very
Okay.
quickly because I'm usually like, this one had a cut. They can't meet until the evening all the time. And I'm like, this one had a cutoff of like 7 o'clock. We have to get out of this house by 7 o'clock. So I can get them out of those usually, but it's even a little bit of a struggle sometimes. I mean, I've really had to be like, okay, we're like 2 minutes till 7 o'clock. Like, we got to get out.
So how many
Feels like
houses are you?
Hold on. Kate had
Yeah.
something.
Oh, I just wanted to piggyback off of that and say, maybe try speaking their language. Like this family has requested we're out at this time so they can feed their children and change their clothes.
hmm No, I think that's a good idea. But a lot of, yeah, no, it's really funny. They got to feed their kids. But like a lot of the houses we're going to are vacant. And I mean, an overwhelming amount of them are vacant. So, and some of them were there and other people come and go while we're there and we're still there.
But I think it goes back to expectations too, and maybe just
Mhm.
resetting expectations with them as well. Your time is worth something as well. And so just saying, maybe when you're setting up these appointments, like I only have this much time, so we're going to have to squeeze through these in a half hour each. Like setting up those expectations ahead of time
Mhm.
too.
So I've said this to them numerous times. And then what they want to do is they want to be like, okay, we'll just go see two of them today and then we'll go see the other ones tomorrow. And I'm like, no, that is not what I meant. Like, no, there's no reason. And I like the day before one time I had shown 8 houses in one evening to one girl, and they're like, how did you go through 8 houses in one night with somebody? And I'm like, because we're like in and out of the houses if they don't like them. And I set the expectation with people right away. If we walk into a house and you don't like it, do not worry if we turn right back around and walk out. You are not wasting my time. You're not wasting the seller's time that we booked this house. If it's not the right one, let's get out and move on to one that might be. And I tell people that all the time when I show them houses. So I just I don't get it. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong.
So this is where I think this is where the one or two, like where they can only hold two
Mhm.
sheets in their hand at a time, will come in
Yeah.
handy. Saying if it's not one or two, why are we spending any time in here? Like, let's go.
Mhm.
If this house
Yeah.
is third, right? Another question that I would ask is, and maybe this is something that I would put in my needs analysis with them as well. Say, all right, so the showing process. Let me kind of explain to you how the showing
Mhm.
process works. Number one, I'm going to set you up on a search. I'm going to ask you to pick the top 5 or 6. We're not going to see more than 6. And then
Mhm.
when we go and see the 5, we're going to walk through each of them for about 20 minutes or so. And we're going to rank them based off of gut instinct, right? Because
Mhm.
oftentimes your gut is right when it comes to what's like on the top. Some clients try to make something work as opposed to stepping in and go, this
Mhm.
works or it doesn't work. What I don't want you to do is to have to make it work. You're going to walk into one that works or doesn't work. And so we're going to rank them 1 or 2. Anything outside of 1 or 2 is a waste of our time. Does that make sense? And they go, yeah. Now, if we're walking through and there's a possibility, I don't want you to feel like you're going to miss out because we can always schedule a second showing for a more detailed look. Does that make sense?
No, I like that. And I had even started telling her to rank houses on 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. I've started doing this with her, and she'll tell me a house is like a 6. And I'm like, okay, then let's go. And I'm like, we're still there. I'm like, why can't I get these people out of the house? What am I doing wrong? I clearly would not be a good kindergarten teacher. But I can't corral people.
Yeah, I would definitely, if you've got a relationship with the husband who understands your situation, I would absolutely get in and say, "Hey, I want to be super respectful, but I also I want to make sure that I'm helping you guys. And right now I don't feel like I'm helping you guys if we're spending this much time in each property. It's not
I think both of the things that you guys have said honestly sound like things I could really see myself saying
cool.
to them.
Cool.
So I appreciate it. And I'll let you know how it goes.
You're going to tell us Monday how it goes, right?
Yeah.
One of the things I mean, what I'm sharing is like literally the process that I used all the way throughout my career. Every
Yeah.
experience that I had, if it went sideways for me, I'm like, all right, putting that in the needs analysis. I'm going to put
Yeah.
that in the needs analysis. I mean, there's a reason why our sales contracts are now 23 pages and they used to be 1, right?
Yeah.
Because there was a lawsuit, there was this, and now it's an addendum, and now it's a clause, and now it's like paragraph 27 talks about this, So, my needs analysis and my listing presentation constantly evolved by the objections that I would get that then I would handle ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
So any objection or any challenge I'm having in any kind of scenario, I bring it back to the beginning and I pace that, and I talk about it up front.
I 100% agree with you, Peggy. You learn from the harder ones.
Yeah.
That's as hard as they are when they happen. I'm super grateful for the experiences that I've had that are harder because I've definitely learned more from them.
I think too, it's even though, yes, you have these, you set the expectations up front, it's okay to revisit those things throughout the process as well. Because I think sometimes whenever we sit down with our buyers, they're all excited and they're like, yeah, cool, I understand, this is great. They have no idea, like half of the stuff that you just said. So it's just reiterating things throughout the process. Like, okay, remember, we said that we're going to go in here and we're going to choose between one or two. And if this one's number one, then we're throwing this one out and it's just gone. Remember, we've got about 15, 20 minutes, and then we will meet at the front door. We will rank it, and then we're moving on to the next one. Just layering that in, just constantly reminding people, like, hey, I know we've already talked about this once. I'm sure I sound like a broken record, but I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Here's how this is going to go. Because people forget, they get excited and they're like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. And then there's so much emotion that it just kind of puts all reason aside sometimes.
No, I agree with you. And I want to say, I've got like 18 buyers that are actively looking right now. And if I had to deal with this with 18 buyers, I would be like running out the door. It's only like not even a handful.
Yeah, it's
maybe
the
like
outliers.
3. Yeah, that I have a few problems with, but those problems, it's like the whole thing. When you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. And I don't want to say yes to some of these things. I'm trying to figure out how to say no.
Good.
Brooke, just look at the wife at the baby as she's nursing and say, it's time to go. Let's go. It's time to go. We're moving to the next property.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Blame it on the appointment. That's something I've done is that if you're running into people that lollygag through properties, remind them that we've set a 30-minute appointment for the initial viewing. Our market doesn't allow for overlapping showings. So I really, with that, I blame the next agent. I'm like, well, we may have somebody following us, so we need to get on our way to the next one. And same thing, use the initial viewing. You've previewed it online. You've got the initial viewing. If you really aren't sure or you like something about the property, we can always come back. So that's, I know, a repeat of what other people have said, but I try to set that expectation ahead of time before the showing that, typically we're scheduling 30-minute viewings at these properties so that we can see a few things at one time, and that there's time for other people to see it too. Even if it's vacant, I say the same thing. And if a client wants me to schedule 30-minute showings because they think they're really going to like something, you can do that in our market, but I try not to, because it's like most of the people, it's just lack of decision making and things like that. But anyway, sorry.
I think the girl's an extreme optimist and she thinks she can make almost anything work. And then after they get home, the husband's like, no, no, no. I have a feeling that that's what's happening, because she thinks we can do this. We can put 3 beds in one room and stuff like that. I'm like, are you sure? Your 5-year-old little girl's probably not going to want to share a room with her brother very long. But
Yeah, endless support. It's time to go.
I really appreciate you guys. Like I said, I hope this is helpful for somebody else too.
Awesome. No, thanks for bringing it to the call. And look at that. It's time.
Quick plug. If you guys haven't downloaded your sheet for next week, if you're going to do our challenge, our call challenge over the next 4 weeks. So make sure you get your sheets downloaded. We're going to kick it off on Monday, and we will announce on Monday whatever the big prize that you're going to be in a drawing for will be.
Ooh. And one more thing. One second. So I need some help. I need you guys to help me with some tech support. One moment. Dang it.
Ramil, I'll put it I'm going to post our Wednesday call and then the link to the sheet here in just a minute in the group. It's in my stand store. And then Matt, do you want me to have them post your stuff for your text thing?
Yeah. So like I want you to, if someone can help me try this out. So I've got like a keyword to a number. So like, so here's, write down this number. It's 855-768-8359. And just text the word field guide to that number. And it should register you for a 7-day free trial of the Entrepreneur's Regret Field Guide, where you get a daily journal prompt to your text for the next 7 days that goes along with the book. I would love for you guys to try that out. Let me know if it works or not. I'm brand new to this text thing, so I'm trying to set it up, make sure it works. So just text the words field guide to that number and you're welcome.
Can you repeat the number?
855-768-8359. Kate, it worked. Yes. Sweet.
I put the number in the chat too.
You guys are the best. Field guide. All right. Thanks, y'all. It's time. Let's roll.